Hi, I'm Ted from Everything Attachments. We're today with our new box blade. This is our box blade that has the full floating tailgate. We'll show you the back of it. But we went through some different things. We had a category 1-2 box blade that was rated up to 100 horsepower. And we've never had any problem with the box blade. Everything that I build, to my knowledge, we've never bent one, and everything has been good. And they have been on tractors even a little over 100 horsepower. But the reality is, with 100 horsepower, even if I buy the best shank I can buy now, I was getting shanks. All I could find were shanks made in either China or India. Even your main manufacturers, and I could name them, but if you pick who you think are the best top 3 or 4 manufacturers, you'll find that they're using a shank that is most likely made in China or India, most likely China, even the better ones. I was really surprised. So we were using the best India shanks we could buy. I did finally locate a manufacturer in Illinois that makes an American-made shank. The finish is really good, the way they're drawn. The tempering should be a lot more truer. We've gone through thousands of these things, and we did have one box that came from India that broke really easy. So we replaced all those. He took that box back, replaced them. But in the meantime, while I was looking and having a panic attack from these shanks breaking, I was able to locate a manufacturer after a lot of searching in Illinois that build manufacturing that will make these American shanks. We feel like they're a lot stronger, and they're definitely going to be more consistent. And the number one thing is they're made in America by Americans, and so we're getting some jobs there, and we're not having to import them. But it's still yet, even with that size of shank, it's a 10-pound shank. If you've got a 15,000-pound plus tractor and you're pulling through the ground and you hit that rock you didn't know was there, and you put all that force, and it's not necessarily the horsepower, it's the weight. You put all that force on one shank, you're going to break it. It's not a big deal. It's not a real expensive repair, but we had some complaints that if we rate them for a certain horsepower, that it should be able to take anything. And that's not always the case. You can break anything, with the right abuse. I break my own share of stuff. So what we did was we derated that box blade a little bit to 80 horsepower, 75 horsepower. Just to kind of keep any problems from happening, because the only shank that's available on it is that 10-pound shank. And we're going to put the best shank we can put in them. But if you're going to, go through really rocky ground and stuff, the only choice we had, and we looked everywhere, and if you look at our biggest box blade, which is called the Beast, or the up to 250 horsepower box blade, we custom make our own shanks in-house. Now, those shanks weigh over 35 pounds. This shank is weighing 25 pounds. So this is 1 inch thick, 4 inches width. It has 4 1-inch holes in it. It weighs 25 pounds. It's made of T1 steel with an AR 400 welded on tip. So that's AR's abrasion resistant. It's a very high yield strength, and that'll last for a long time. If you're in rock quarries, stuff like that, that's the metal that's on their cutting edges and what they weld to their buckets to repair them. If you've got that big tractor, or you've got a lot of rocks, even if you've got a 75 horsepower tractor, and you've got tons of rocks and you're going to be hard on it, and you've got a heavy tractor, these shanks are the only thing that are going to stand those blows like that. And so far, I've never had one bent in the really big box blades up to 250 horsepower. These should do the same at up to 125 horsepower. But this is basically, the front part is very similar to our category 1-2 box blade. We made much, much longer ripper shanks holders to hold those big rippers. So you'll see that. So we're going to offer this blade both ways. This blade's rated for 125 horsepower. If you want the big shanks, that's fine. If you want the little shanks, because the box blading is what you mainly do, and you're in dirt and you're not worried about breaking a shank, then save $300 and get the standard shank. It's up to you. It is a category 1-2 hitch, a quick attach wheel hook to it. When you get to those bigger tractors, you're probably likely to tear up your your quick attach before you tear up the box blade. So if you're really going to get abusive, you probably should hook directly to the box blade. I just wanted you to get an idea of, the thickness of these. Now what we did to start with on our other one, we put 10 shanks on it. So we put 10 on this to start with, just like we normally do. And because they're so big, they just were too close. It wasn't going to let the debris go through. So we took them back off, and we lessened the number of shanks with these big shanks, but just because you're going to be doing bigger stuff, and we wanted it to be able to get through. Now we started out kind of with a Woods Gill SR blade, and we put these big shanks in here. There was hardly any room left to the moldboard. It was about right here. So it wasn't going to leave enough room for the dirt to curl and get back down with these big ripper shanks. So we extended this an extra 5 inches. Now this is a 3/8 thick tube. This one tube here, just an 8-foot tube there, cost me over $100. We index everything with the laser to put our braces in. So these are 1/2-inch side plates, 3/8 tubes, 3/8 hitch up here with a 3/8 bar running to the back, which gives it super rigid up on the top link, because when a box blade grabs, what it wants to do is roll the box blade forward, putting more pressure on the top link than there is pulling on the bottom links. So that bar is really important there. This is part of the moldboard that comes all the way up. It's got a break across it here for strength. And this is a piece of 3/8 that's molded. Then it's welded all the way across the top there for just a super amount of strength back here. Now, everybody wanted a locking tailgate. I've also wanted them through the years. Nobody's really got one that's perfect. And this one's, the only thing that would make this perfect is if you could do it without having to raise up your tractor and reach under it. There's just no good way. Anything you do on the outside is either going to get caught by debris or injured. So we didn't go that way. So this is, right now we have our 6-inch, 1/2-inch thick cutting edges on it. We're also going to offer it with the same type of edges and the wider ones called the Viper blade, which is an 8-inch blade. So that really is only needed if you're in a quarry situation, or all you do is grade on gravel, granite, stuff like that, that's actually going to wear your edge super fast. These are as good of American-made Volk edges as you can get. The only one better is their Viper blade, which is bigger. So you can see on the back here, we do a lot of things. This is DOM tubing, which is drawn over mandrel tubing. It's not just pipe. It's real expensive, but it's really strong. It's really precision. When I all the years, like for 30 years that I sold the Gill products and thought how they made this rear tailgate, I thought this was always rolled here. So this piece of metal here, that's 1/4-inch steel. And this goes through 3 die processes to actually get this full roll. Then we put a 1-inch hardened shaft through here. It makes it super strong. Now we double bent this one just because it was a test piece. So what you've got is one bend and then down on the tailgate. But it's way stronger than anybody else's way of attaching a tailgate that I know of. It's what I thought Gill was doing. But then actually we bought a brand new Gill from somebody to kind of look at it and see what features it had. And after I'd already bought a $10,000 die to do that, we found out that all they did was bend a 90 on it and weld a short piece of 1-inch steel on 4 different places. So you've ended up with a lot better piece here. It ought to be a lifetime piece. We index all of our gussets into the tailgate here. You've got all these braces back here. That's what's going to take the force in reverse. To be able to lock it, we've put 3 different sets of clevises. Well, 8-foot has 4, 6-foot has 3. This is almost a 1,500-pound box plate. So you'll put a linchpin in each of these 4 places. It's a 3/4-inch top link pin. Now that'll come with linchpins on it. Likely debris and stuff like that has a good possibility of knocking off your linchpins. If you're going to leave it solid, we're going to also send bolts with lock nuts. You should probably put those in it and just keep the linchpins for later. But you can lock it solid, or you can leave it in the floating position. We've made you a quality piece, should have no problem up to 125 horsepower. Those shanks should stand it without any problem. We've done, we've made it bigger. This thing's got a huge amount of volume. You can see the braces that come all the way through the moldboard there, welded on both sides with an angle on them. This is just going to be an awesome box blade if you've got a big tractor. And it kind of splits the difference between what we had, the category 1-2 box blade, up to 100 that we've derated to 75, and the one that's just huge up to 250 horsepower. So if we're filling our line of box blades from one end to the other, all the way from the small compacts to the 250 horsepower. We've got several different options that are coming out. The category 1-2 box blade, we just finished it. It also has a tailgate that will float if you like. Give us a call or an email. We'll help size the right blade for you. Make sure you get the right teeth for what you're doing and anything else you need. We're here to help you. Just give us a call or an email.